see Buzz Lightyear.
So good morning. It is Sunday, September 15th.
Okay.
Is that the day? Yeah?
Yes, it is.
We're sitting on the ferry boat. We're getting ready to head to the Magic Kingdom again today, just to meet up with our friends, the Foolish Morgans, for a little bit.
Yeah.
No real plans or intentions at the Magic Kingdom today. Just kind of spending a few hours.
Be there for a little bit.
Just a little bit. But the real plan is to head to Hollywood Studios today. I want to ride Tower of Terror.
Okay.
That's my love of the rides at Disney. Yours is Haunted Mansion. My equivalent is Tower of Terror.
Yes.
Haven't ridden it in a little while, but also looking to possibly get back into Galaxy's Edge.
I want to go to Batu.
Go to Batu. It's just to absorb the environment.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna go frolic at Hollywood Studios today.
That's like my second favorite. Magic Kingdom is my favorite because it's got a lot going on, but Hollywood Studios is definitely like just right under it. So possibly the easiest time we've had getting into the Magic Kingdom in quite some time.
Yeah, apparently 8:30 on a Sunday morning is the time to come.
Well, that, and it's after the period in time when everybody is back in school.
That's true.
Nobody's taking summer vacation, so it's all like the locals.
Yeah.
The annual pass holders, the local people. So this is the time to go when we
short waits and not too many people.
So we tell people they ask when is the best time to
September.
come. It's always September.
September or January.
Yeah, when it's nice and cool.
Yeah, after New Year's.
Right.
Yep.
So one thing that you had, did you tweet about it or did you put it on Instagram?
I put it on Instagram.
Instagram that you wanted to do the trolley car.
Yeah.
That we saw last time we were here for Spooky Day.
At Spooky Day.
We'd never ridden it. And they have some very other cool vehicles, like they got the old, what is it?
It's like a Model T4.
Model,
or
yeah.
something.
They got the old jalopy looking vehicles. I think it's supposed to be like a fire truck looking one.
Oh, you chitty chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, we love you. they look like chitty chitty bang bang.
So we're just gonna hang out here for a little bit and let the horse-drawn trolley take us all the way up. There goes Snow White escorting a little princess. Very cool. There's the trolley there. We're gonna wait for the next one. But you hear the horns of the other vehicles. I'm infatuated with the design of Main Street because it's all forced perspective. The buildings are supposed to look taller than they actually are, and looking down the street, it looks like the buildings get smaller and smaller and smaller, and that's by design. These buildings look like they're multiple stories, but actually each story gets smaller and smaller and smaller to give that forced perspective of going down the street. It's just a really awesome sight.
To Main Street, USA. Let's celebrate! I'm walking right down the middle of Main Street, USA. With a magical plan, just around the corner is a fantasy land. I'm walking right down the middle of Main Street, USA.
So that got crushed really quickly. They came back around with all the performers, and now they're detaching the horse, and he's walking off. Maybe next time, dear. We just got to get here early enough. I like how they have the jack-o'-lanterns hidden everywhere. Do they light up at night too? I think those do, right?
They do light up at night.
Around the greens, just outside of Main Street, they have these little statues, little bronze statues throughout everywhere.
These are our favorite.
This is our favorite right here, good old Chip and Dale.
It's my jam.
So it's just shortly after 1 o'clock, it's about 1:20.
Yep.
We just spent most of the morning and lunchtime hanging with our friends, the Foolish Morgans.
Yes.
And
At Foolish Morgan on Instagram.
yes, at Foolish Morgans.
Yes.
And they're on their way for their last trip to the Haunted Mansion for the day. It's always got to be their first and last ride at the Magic Kingdom. In the meantime, we're headed to Hollywood Studios. I think we got some video or some magic shots on rides and stuff today. We could show what we did today.
Yeah.
And so now we're headed to Hollywood Studios, and we'll see what we can get accomplished there.
Going to space. That too.
We just got here, and here it goes. Temporarily closed.
Lame.
Boo! So we drove all the way over to Hollywood Studios.
Yep.
Found out that the one main thing that I wanted to do shut down.
Temporarily, so it might open back up soon.
Hopefully it'll open up before.
They did just have a storm, so
That's true. And it is super humid out here because of the rain.
it's like getting waterboarded by Mother Nature.
It's still technically
My
raining.
floppy hat went like all kinds of crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't hold its stiffness anymore. So, in the meantime, the priority, coffee. It looks like it's going back and forth. They're doing some mechanical tests on it. I love the farmer's market look they got here. Hi there. This is a sight I don't get to see very often. The gate's closed.
For a little while. Yeah, we're working on it. Haunted Mansion got closed down for a little while today too. Sometimes it happens.
Nice.
Well, we love you anyway.
So Toy Story Land is very colorful and everything you would imagine it to be. Everybody you know that comes here talks about the Slinky Dog. But actually one of our favorites here is the alien swirling saucer.
It's so much fun.
It's a very underrated ride and the line usually isn't very long, so we're gonna go give that one a spin. Literally.
Literally.
Alright, you pick our ride.
Okay. I'll try.
Which carriage? Well, I would say that ride doesn't really disappoint.
It's so
It's
fun.
it's more than just going in circles. It whips you to the left and to the right because you go in a figure eight.
And we have like one seatbelt across the both of us, so
We're both sliding in the seatbelt together.
Well, I guess we didn't make it tight enough, but I think that's part of the fun.
Right.
Kind of getting thrown back and forth.
I think it's one of my
So
favorite
cute.
rides in this area. Well, there's only two rides in this area, really. It's this one and
Well,
Slinky
there's three.
Dog.
There's the Toy Story Mania too.
Oh, right.
So
That's a lot of
three
fun.
rides in this area. But this one is underrated and a lot of fun.
Agreed.
I say we get some coffee and we go into One Man's Dream and wait for this to blow over and look at some cool stuff in there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Jack Kirby had done so much in the comic industry that they have a centennial checklist. And this is a thick book of everything he has contributed to the comic industry. Why don't you go over here and give me your best flex pose of a superhero?
Damn!
With my coffee.
That's what gives you your strength.
Yes.
So little Jack has messed up certain areas of Municipalburg. There he is. What did he explode there?
I don't know.
Catch
but
fire?
There's like fire foot tracks on the ground.
Yeah, let me show where that comes from. Little Jack up there with the flaming eyes has seared a path into the concrete.
This kid's been everywhere.
He's been everywhere. He burst through the wall and then
There's footprints on the
his
ground.
handprints go all the way up and around. See that scorch mark up there? Jack broke through the wall.
Look at this num num cookie. Look at that thing.
Wow. So if there's anything to be learned by days like today, not everything goes according to plan.
No, but you can't let it ruin your day. You have to just roll with it and do something else.
I think we had a blast regardless. We just love coming to the parks.
Just being here makes me happy.
So we got here, Tower of Terror wasn't working.
No.
I actually stood in line to get a picture with Chippendale. And so it started raining and it canceled a lot of the availability of things like photo ops and stuff like that around the park. So,
But it doesn't take away our fun. And if you ever come to Walt Disney World, don't let it take away your fun. Plans change and it's not even your choice. It just happens and you just gotta roll with it.
and hopefully you'll learn a lesson from us. Like I said, I keep saying it, always bring an umbrella
Always bring an umbrella.
and drink plenty of water. I don't
Yes.
think we drink enough water today.
I read somewhere that for every ounce of sweat, you need to drink 8 ounces of water.
I definitely do.
And I don't know if that's true. I'm not a doctor, but I think that 99% of everybody's issue is they're dehydrated. So drink more water.
So we're gonna swing by, see if Chippendale is out again now that it seems to have cleared up and stopped raining.
It's actually
but
pretty nice now. It's warm and dry. It's not like oppressively humid.
it cleared up and got nice around the time that we have to start heading home because we have to go to work
Because
tomorrow.
We have to go to work tomorrow. Real jobs are terrible. Okay, so we're headed back to the car so we can have a beautiful drive home. He gets to drive home. I drive here and he drives home, and that way we split it. And it's nice because then I can play on my phone, upload some pictures, and have a good old time.
Yeah, you make me entertain you while you're driving, but when I'm driving, you like fall asleep.
Well, it's either me fall asleep or me have a panic attack every time you like get too close to the car in front of you.
I would prefer you not to watch me drive, actually.
I should sit in the back seat, but the Beetle doesn't really facilitate a decent sized back seat. So, maybe we should get like one of the Maybachs.
Oh, I would be all about that. You have somebody that'll drive it for us?
Well, no, we'd have to hire somebody to drive it for us. So, anybody want to come drive for us? I mean, we could pay you in like a Mickey-shaped treat every time you come.
Let's put it this way. Anybody have a Maybach? Because we don't have one.
Wait, I don't have one, or I don't even really know how to get one, but it sounds cool. So, we'll get on it.
Once we start making that millions of dollars at the job at Disney we don't have. Then,
At the job at Disney we don't have, because, you know, everybody at Disney makes millions of dollars, right?
Absolutely.
Especially pastry chefs. Hey, so I guess one of the things we wanted to say about this video was sometimes things don't go as planned. Sometimes you really, really want to do something and it doesn't work out. And that happens at Disney World, it happens at Universal Studios, it happens in life. And you can let it ruin your trip, or you can just roll with it and do something else. So that's kind of what we chose to do. I didn't get to ride the trolley thing, the little car, horse-drawn cart, which is really cool. I'll get to do it sometime. I didn't get to, it was just not in the day, and we wanted to do some other stuff. And
Tower of Terror.
Oh yeah, we wanted to ride the Tower of Terror, and it wasn't working. And the whole point of us going over to Hollywood Studios that day was to ride the Tower of Terror, and we didn't get to, but we got to go do something else, because there's always something else to do. So don't let a disappointment ruin your trip.
Let's talk about the Jack Kirby thing
Okay.
and how disappointing it was.
It was a little
After we had gone through it the first time, we thought we missed something,
Yeah.
and we didn't really get a chance to go back around and check it out, but we didn't miss anything. That was it.
It was unfortunate, I think. Jack Kirby is a legend in the comic book world, and you know, with them having the new Eternals show, I hoped that they had brought something else to the table. I mean, if this had been like a Stan Lee thing, you would have had stuff everywhere. Well, Jack Kirby had his hands in almost the same amount of stuff as Stan Lee.
Right.
So he's another founding father of the comic book industry.
I feel that it was an unfair shake of trying to introduce who the Eternals were to begin with. Like, as a casual comic book reader, somebody who just picks up a Marvel comic on occasion here and there, they're not going to know anything about the Eternals or the mythology behind the Eternals. And the stuff that they had there didn't really give a very good explanation as to the whole concept of the Eternals.
I mean, what we saw was cool. I mean, it was really cool to get to see that comic book that was like a super rare comic book in beautiful, pristine condition. There was that drawing table that had like, it was very unclear of what that was. I don't know if like, the only thing I could tell that was like personal items was some used pencils.
Yeah. Forget the whole Eternals thing. I think part of it was that they were trying to introduce Jack Kirby's art to a new generation of people, because he died 25 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he died back in 1994, I think, 1995, somewhere around there. So let's forget about the Eternals. Let's talk about something that could have been utilized to introduce his art more. Let's say even the Avengers. He co-created the Avengers with Stan Lee.
He did.
Okay, every single one of those characters he and Stan Lee put together. But even way before that, if you want to introduce the impact that Jack Kirby initially provided into comic books, you got to go back to Captain America. Mm-hmm. He created Captain America with Joe Simon back in 1941. That was 22 years before Stan Lee decided to pull Cap out of the ice.
Right.
And use him in the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
That's how long he was working for the company, I think, before they even Marvel. They were called Timely Comics. Right. Same era Stan Lee was working in it. So I think that they did a disservice and injustice into introducing Jack Kirby into a modern audience.
Well, and we thought there was going to be like a movie.
Yeah, so there.
You know, they have that theater set up in One Man's Dream, and sometimes they show some little special movies. Sometimes they show a story about Walt Disney, which is wonderful, and we highly recommend you see it because you do learn a lot. But the way they had that all set up, they had, pictures on the doors to the theater. So we thought, oh, well, they're just showing us some stuff, and then we're going to come back and we're going to watch this movie that kind of highlights Jack Kirby. And I guess the takeaway from this,
but it wasn't there.
It wasn't there. It was the One Man's Dream, Walt Disney Presents, which was fantastic, and we learned a lot about Walt, and I think they've done some edits to it, so there was some new information.
But we thought it was a Jack Kirby
But we
thing.
thought it was supposed to be a Jack Kirby thing, and it really wasn't. And I guess the takeaway from all of this is, guys, there is more than one founding father of the comic book industry. There's Jack Kirby, there's Bob Kane. I mean, there's a lot of people who created the superheroes and supervillains that we all love. And this was an opportunity that was missed.
Yeah, I think so.
But it doesn't take away from our day.
No, we still had fun.
We had a great day and we loved it. We would have liked to see more. And I think that's something that we like to try to do here is be honest. Could have been more.
Could have been more.
Could have been more.
And so there was a chunk of that day that was taken out, and it was actually in our last video when we went back to Batu.
Yes, that's
so
right.
That while we were at Hollywood Studios, we took a large chunk of that day and just made it its own video. So
we had a lot of fun of it too.
A lot of stuff went on that day, but you know the rain prohibited a lot of things going on. A lot of photo ops weren't available.
My hat totally flopped. I did get it fixed. I got on the Pinterest
She's
special.
been starching it all
and
week.
I starched the hell out of it. So now it's going to stand straight out. It's going to whack them in the head. But I'll be fabulous.
Anyway, we just thought that we would end the video with a little bit of clarification and some of our thoughts on things that we didn't really provide at the time.
Absolutely. And please visit the One Man Stream whenever you go to Hollywood Studios, because there is a lot of history in there. And it's not only just history of Walt's journey, but they always have some new stuff. Like they had
a model of Batu before it even was a thing.
They had the model of Toy Story Land. They're always bringing something with really cool costumes.
They have a scale model of the Tower of Terror, which is really cool.
They do, and they have scale models of a few of the
castles.
castles and a few of the areas like the Jungle Cruise and stuff like that. And it's really kind of cool to see the model that they put together that based what we're at. So I think it's a really fascinating little thing and it gets you out of the heat for a little while, which is really nice because it's hot in Florida. And I know I say that all the time and you're probably tired of hearing it, but it's hot in Florida. It's not going to cool down for a couple more months. So it is a nice place to go to kind of get away and teach your children the history. Why this awesome park is here is because one man drew a cool picture of a mouse and ran with it. And you can't give that up. You can't even like wrap your head around it. It all started with the mouse.
That's true.
It's true.
So you guys, thank you. Stay tuned. We're going to be giving away some comics pretty soon.
Oh,
some
yes.
autographed comics.
Yes. We got our hands on some cool stuff, guys.
Right.
And we thought we'd share. So information's going to come about that shortly. I think we're trying to set up some details, but information's going to come out, so stay tuned for that. And we are going to be doing a few non-Disney adventures.
Yes, it's not all about Disney here. There's so much stuff that happens.
We love Disney.
Right.
We love it a lot. But there is a lot going on in Florida, like within a gas tank of trips. So we are going to kind of do a couple things that are non-Disney so that you can see what other cool stuff we got going on down here. So stay tuned for that.
You guys, thanks so much for making it all the way through this video.
It would help us out a lot if you hit subscribe.
Hit that like
And ring that little bell.
so that you know next time we upload a brand new video.
Yeah.
Talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.